This podcast contains explicit content.
This is Hardly Focused.
We have a whole segment dedicated to that. Don't you worry.
We're Hardly Focused. Thanks for checking us out today with Chris Acciardi, Mike Tarara, Nate Fillers. My name is Jack Gill. You can find us at hardlyfocused.com. We're on all of the podcast apps. Just search for Hardly Focused there. We're on YouTube at hardlyfocused.com/YouTube. In the last segment, Nate said something about farting so bad that it fucked up his air purifier. And good segue there. We'll go to Taiwan very quickly. Taiwanese man sells PlayStation 5 after a wife realizes it's not an air cleaner.
Oh, nice. I saw that.
Yeah, because the fucking PS5, if it doesn't look like an air purifier, then it looks like a router.
Yeah, I agree.
How bad is it, too, that, like, the damn things are near impossible to find at this point, but then being told you have to sell this, you have to get rid of this. Like, no thanks, wife, I'll get rid of you instead.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Keep my PlayStation 5 with its very minimal game library.
It just reminded me of the thing I saw a long time ago of like the text messages of like people who have been caught cheating or something like that or whatever. And it was like, I broke your Xbox. Just kidding. I'm cheating on you. And the guy was like, my Xbox is fine though, right?
I don't know. I'm not planning on getting, despite actively looking at different retailers, I'm not planning on getting a PS5 or a Xbox, whatever the shit it's called, for quite a while. Part of it is just due to the availability, and the other part is due to everything that I want to play is coming out on the current gen systems still. There's always, for that first year, everything gets released on both generations, and then very gradually they only do the releases for like sports games. Yeah. So
where the graphics is so realistic, you can see his sweat.
What is it now? It's ray tracing. That's the thing now that the new systems have. Like the graphics otherwise look identical to the current systems, the PS4 and the Xbox One. Ray tracing is the thing, which I guess just means that like when you look at reflections, like if you look at a window, you'll actually be able to see your character in it. Or like if there's like water on the ground, you'll be able to actually see reflections. It's like I don't fully understand the concept.
It's like instead of just giving you like a shadow effect and a light effect, if something is like overlighting you, what it does is it gives you the shadow effect and lighting effect. But if something is at all reflective, it will also show, an active representation of what it is reflecting as you're going through the level.
Hogwarts, got it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they do 60 FPS or 120, whatever, in 4K, which, they've been doing 4K for a few years now. I'm playing the latest Tomb Raider game that came out, was it Shadow of the Tomb Raider? I got the PS4 Pro. That thing looks fucking gorgeous on that. So I'm set for a while. Even Watch Dogs Legion, we were talking during the break about that. Looks great on PS4. I don't need another version of it right now. I would only consider getting the Xbox Series X. I think that's the fancier one, just because it's backwards compatible.
Yeah.
So
I mean, what do you really get from graphics? Because me personally, I don't care. Because like I like the games where it's like you're not a first person shooter kind of person. It's like you're like Mario or
dude.
I can't think of any other games.
Fro helped me build a gaming PC a couple years ago, and the first fucking game I played on it once it was set up was Legends of Grimrock. Which is like a 16-bit dungeon crawler.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that.
That's me. I for someone who's like unambiguously a huge gaming nerd who spends like 40 hours a week at least playing video games, I don't think I've played a single game that like came out within the past 5 years. Like most of my time is spent on classic WoW, which came out in 2004. I bought the Super Mario 3 All-Stars to play Super Mario 64 from the 90s. Like, I bought the Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 Enhanced Edition. Those games are like a decade and a half old. Like, I'm obsessed with really old retro games, and just buying a new console would end up being kind of a waste for me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The newest games I've purchased and played are Star Wars Squadrons, which is okay. It just adds on to the Star Wars lore. And Watch Dogs Legion, and that's about it. And on my PC, I finally forced myself to buy a brand new game just so I could like put my PC to the limits, because otherwise I was just playing Overwatch or Skyrim on it. And I bought the Mafia remake, which is gorgeous. It runs great, and and like I said, this tower here is 3 years old, and it's fine. So like I can play games. I finally, it took me 3 years, but I finally proven it can actually play modern games and not just Skyrim. So, and then Mike, there's a subreddit for you called Patient Gamers. I believe you're still trudging through Witcher 3.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Are you going to segue over to Cyberpunk when that comes out?
Probably. It's not going to be a quick transition, I'll tell you that. But yeah, I'll probably do that. Okay. I mean, it's single player. Is it open world? And I'm kind of like, alrighty, I'm in, and that's basically my shtick. Problem with open world now is there's so much openness. I don't have the time like I used to. I can't spend 40 hours a week because apparently somebody needs to eat.
That's why I can't do the open world games now, is because they're just too big. And like this is why I'm already seeing with Legion is there are so many side missions, and I mean, it's typically Ubisoft. There's always going to be a million different things to do in the world, and I just want to plow through the main story, because otherwise I'm never going to get it done. That's what happened with Witcher. I spent so much time doing side missions, it took me like 4 years to finish the main story, because I just would then get bored with the game and never come back to it. And
I mean, I was always bored with the Witcher main storyline, because I have to complete my Gwent decks. I mean, I have to.
Ack?
It's just a game of Gwent with a minor subplot that I don't care about.
Ack, I think I cut you off. Were you going to say something?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But I mean, just I'm in the same boat as you guys. Like, it's amazing to me with how often I play video games, how slow I am at them. Like, I'll get a game when it comes out at the same time as a bunch of other people, and then they'll beat it in like a month, and then 6 months later I'll be like, wait, how the fuck have I not beaten this yet?
Yeah.
Like, I'm 150 hours of the way through it, and like, I don't know. I'm just the most inefficient gamer imaginable.
Nate, you just sent to our group chat the Ori. Is that the first Ori game? Will the Wisps?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I was gonna
Blind Forest, right? Was that the first?
Oh,
I know about it.
I have the second one, but I just can't remember if that's Will of the Wisps or.
I think Blind Forest was first, and then Will of the Wisps was second.
I like that game. And it's gorgeous. I just got bored with it.
Okay, because I was just curious about it. It looks really pretty,
yeah.
But I'm like, I don't know if it will, because like that's what I'm talking about. Is like it doesn't need to look real. If it's just pretty, then I'm fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Or even other games there's games like Celeste, which very intentionally have like an old pixelated look. I mean, they look like they could have come out on the Super Nintendo.
It's so pretty though.
But it works. It works beautifully.
Oh yeah. I do like that.
I'm not saying graphics are shit. Like I get it. I've gone back and tried to play GoldenEye on the Nintendo 64, and it's so hard. You're like, everything's just polygons.
The first PS4 game I got was Infamous Second Son, because I think that was the first like PS4 exclusive game that came out, and I think that game held up. And that's about 7 years old now. But every game now has photo mode in it. for just the purpose. And this is what I waste my time doing, is just going into photo mode and just taking screenshots and then manipulating everything. I did it with Witcher. I did it a fuck ton with The Last of Us. So,
which is getting a series on HBO Max now, correct?
it is. Yeah, they finally it was finally ordered, and it sounds like it's just going to be a television version of the first game all the way through. So, The Last of Us Part 2, I'll tell you this. I don't know if or when I'll ever play that game again. It's not like Portal 2, I do this thing where I will play it once every 5 years, and next year it'll be time for my next playthrough next year. The last time I played through was when I literally, it was the week I bought and moved into this house. The first thing I did when I set everything up in the studio was finish my playthrough of Portal 2. So that was almost 5 years ago. So we'll be coming up on it again, because it's just it's just such a great game, and I just I want to forget everything. I find that 5 years is enough time to completely forget how to solve every puzzle. But Last of Us Part 2, it's not just a thing about forgetting the story and coming close to experiencing it for the first time again. That was such a emotionally exhausting and taxing game. I just don't know if I could do it again. I felt literally physically and mentally exhausted when I finished that game.
Yeah, I hear that.
So as someone who had mixed feelings about the first one, I intentionally just spoiled myself about the story of the second. And also just because I was so curious due to the massive controversy about it, because I still see people posting online that they just hated it, that it ruined everything. It was a complete abomination, worst thing to ever happen to them in their lives, which I think, even if it's not good, is a ridiculous exaggeration to ever say about a video game, but people get that, intensely into it. But I'm interested. It's interesting to me to hear that your reaction is it was just emotionally difficult, and not just I hated it.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I still consider the first one to be superior and probably the best video game ever created. But the second one, I didn't spoil it. The spoilers were out there, and I avoided everything. And I just walked. When I was done with it, I'm like, okay, I'm glad I'm done. But man, it was just like one emotional gut punch after another, and that's a video game doing that. Freaking thinking back to like 20 years ago, my parents telling me, "You'll never get anywhere playing video games. They'll rot your brain." And no, you know what video games are doing? They're fucking keeping me up at night, giving me an existential crisis, questioning the choices I've made in my own life.
Yeah, we got screwed over, didn't we? Like, we were right in the middle of the generation of like video games being like an actual job, and they're not a real job.
Well, it's like Firewatch. Like Firewatch friggin' threw me through a loop, as it did many people who played it. And think back to 1995, where the worst thing we had to worry about was making sure that stupid baby Mario didn't get captured by whatever those fucking toad things were. So
yeah.
Let me pitch this to you guys. Have you ever heard the theory that spoilers make things more enjoyable?
I read a headline about that recently. Maybe you were the one who shared it.
Possibly.
But it was an article. I didn't read it, but it did say studies are showing that people who spoil the ending for themselves enjoy watching something or playing something more than people who don't know how it ends.
Oh, that's dumb shit that Kate would do. She would like spoil everything for herself, and she loved it. And I want to go into it being surprised, and I want to actually have my jaw drop, and that's just me.
Yeah, I get it. But I think the argument that they have was like, you pick up on little cues that most people will miss, like the foreshadowing elements and like little details that lead up to it. For me, that's
also kind of why I enjoy doing things twice. Like, a lot of times, if I really like a game or I really like a TV show, I'll go back and just replay it or rewatch it immediately after the first time I beat it, and just have that feeling like, oh, that thing that guy just said has a lot more meaning now that I know what happens next.
Yeah.
You know?
The internet and like Reddit message boards, things like that. I don't need a playthrough again. I read the things online that other people have figured out, so I don't need to do it myself and get sort of that second meaning behind everything. So
yeah, well, it happened to me with is it Avengers? The End Game, last one.
End Game's the last one. Yeah,
that came out like where Google accidentally like leaked. Like,
what the hell is happening in the background?
Yeah,
is that
me? Who is it?
That's gotta be Chris.
Huh?
Somebody who's having
someone moving stuff.
Someone moving.
Oh
stuff.
yeah, sorry.
Okay, cool. It's not me. I'm fine as long as it's not me.
Chris is like, what's going on, guys?
What am I doing? I don't know. How do I fix it? How do I?
That's how Ack farts. He's been farting this whole time.
He's covering up the sounds. He's learned the sound design trick. No, like Google did a thing where it like released an article. I know it's been a while, but I still don't want to like spoil it. But like it released a certain article about, you know,
a certain character
and whether or not they will be
person died.
Like okay after the franchise, you know, without the franchise. They're like, will a certain character be okay without the franchise? And I was like, well, that kind of hints, like kind of spoils it, kind of says something. And I watched that movie and I think it was the most enjoyable one because I picked up on like every little thing that led up to it, and it made me catch the clues that they were throwing out that made it more sad. Anyway,
that would have been one of those movies that if anything had been spoiled for me, I would have been just livid.
Yeah, I was pissed at first, but then I watched it and I was like,
yeah,
fuck. I enjoyed that more though.
No, I got the Force Awakens spoilage.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I gotta say, it. I know you could see it coming, but actually knowing it was coming was kind of defeated the build up as much, and I did not like that at all.
See, I kind of go into like I go into like a mentality of disbelief, and whenever I see a spoiler, I'm like, that's not going to happen. That's bullshit. And then it happens, and then now I'm pissed because I'm like, oh, this was spoiled for me. Like it's almost like the 7 stages of grief or whatever. Like
yeah.
So
yeah, I hear that. I'm the same exact way, man. I'm like, it's probably a lie. Oh,
it was not a lie.
All right, we're only gonna have time for
Dumbledore.
We're only gonna have time for one of these. Trump we talked about this earlier in the episode. Trump in Georgia rallying people to believe that he won the election, that he is going to still be the president for the next 4 years. Won't have time to get to the MyPillow guy, Mike Liddell, but Mike Liddell is convinced that Trump is still president, will be president, and next 4 years, MAGA, whatever. But Trump talking about missiles at his rally in Georgia where no one was wearing masks. So, I'm sure that's really going to help the COVID numbers. And confusing, and I guess this is the second time he's done this. He's used the term hydrosonic to describe missiles and doesn't seem to acknowledge or care that he's not using the right word.
He's using hydrosonic?
Yeah.
Instead of hypersonic?
This time around, let's listen to the audio here, because this time around, I think he tries to, I think he tries to combine the two. Here we go.
Brand new missiles and rockets, hypersonic missiles. We have hypersonic and hydrosonic. You know what hydrosonic is? Water. We have them all. We have missiles that go 7 times faster than any missile in the world.
I can't believe our president is so fucking stupid. He doesn't know that it's supersonic and hyper knuckles.
Thank you, Ack. And never pigtails. Never pigtails, because he doesn't get that super ability unlocked until after you collect the first 7 emeralds. What a crock. Hydrosonic is toothbrush type. There's it's not an actual brand of toothbrush, but there is a type of toothbrush, like the Sonic Care toothbrush. I'm blanking on a name. It starts with a C. It's a UK manufacturer, but it literally has hydrosonic.
Clorox hydrosonic pro electric toothbrush.
Yes, thank you, thank you.
$200 at Walmart.
Yeah. So again, this is the second time that Trump has used the term hydrosonic, and I'm pretty sure people pointed out that he was using it wrong. So
no, you're wrong. You're wrong.
So instead, he is continuing to use it, but he's going to combine it with the actual term. And if he does both, then he's right and can't be wrong.
He's never wrong anyway. He can never admit wrong.
Just like he won the election.
True. Sorry, I couldn't help but think of Supersonic Electronic. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Supersonic Electronic.
Hey, baby, rise up from your sleep. Good time.
Sorry, the reference is lost on me. What's that?
I posted it in the Google Docs. It's like one of those
Daft Punk songs.
Record your own. Like, it's made to look like it's one of those record your own videos, or what were they called?
Vine?
Like they make your own like music video.
TikTok,
like those things that like Rebecca Black did, where some guy, you pay him and he makes a music video for you.
No, like in the episode of Doug where he's like, Patty, you're the mayonnaise in my coleslaw, and he goes,
Patty, you're the mayonnaise for me. Whoa.
You just had to relate it to a Nicktoon, and now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they go and like they set up the screen and everything. And
I don't know what that's called. I've never done that in real life.
What it's called?
Did you know there's on the Sega CD there was a series called Make My Video where it was In Excess, CNC Music Factory, and Crisscross. Those are the three versions, and they put like 90. It was the best investment anyone could make in purchasing a video game. It included like 90 seconds of one of their music videos, and you had like 5 options where you could basically just change the scenes around. Like, it was such bullshit. It was them like trying to cash in on the fact that the system could do full motion video, and they're regarded as some of the worst video games ever made. That's how I learned about Crisscross, though, and their songs about missing the bus and wearing their pants backwards.
Rest in peace.
So
but that's a classic. You should check it out. You should check out Supersonic Electronic. It's fucking hilarious. It's a little dated, but so is everything, you know?
I'll check it out after the show.
You know what hydrosonic is? Water.
Is it?
Water.
I did not know that. Thank you, President Trump.
And here's what scares me the most is that at the end of that audio, the USA chant, those are the people that frighten me. The people that just continue to give into this.
There's only 74 million of them. Don't worry.
That follow everything that he says. Yeah. Well, what's scary? I mean, it really puts the population of the nation into perspective there. 74 follow him, but then what was it, 81 million?
81 million voted, and there's another 60 or 70 million that didn't vote. So
yeah. But just the USA chance is just that's what scares me, is that they're going to hang on to everything that comes out of that man's mouth is gospel.
Yeah, you got to take his Twitter away.
Including believing that he won the election.
January 20th.
Oh, God.
Yep.
Here,
can't wait.
We're a little more than, we're like a month and a half away. Oh my God, I really, really just hope that he doesn't try to himself invoke the 25th by resigning and giving his role to Biden so Biden can pardon him. But what would be great is if Pence. It's the vice president thing. Like, Biden is always going to be vice president to me. Like, even though he won the election, he's always going to be vice president Biden. Pence. It would be great if Pence just like that happens, and Pence is like, I'm not pardoning you. I'm not doing it.
Bye.
Or like, pardon me first, and then I'll pardon you, and then he doesn't do it.
I didn't say I was going to do this for you. You assumed.
Fake news.
All right. We'll wrap it at that. Nate, again, I'm glad you're feeling better. You're tell everyone about your COVID test, your second COVID test.
Oh yeah, like while I took a phone call and it was like, hey, you're good. Your test is negative, and
that was it. That was the call. You literally picked it up and it was just someone going, hey, you're good. Click.
Kind of. He was like, your test is good, and I was like, wait. There's a little bit of confusion.
Your results are very positive.
Yeah, like kind of like that.
Can you elaborate, sir?
Like, so I don't have it. He's like, correct. I was like, okay, awesome. He's like, I just wanted to let you know because you were worried about it. I was like, you're damn right I was. And
you're darn too.
You're awesome.
Good one. I'm glad you're feeling better. I hope you don't have to go through that again. And thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for letting me share that story.
Of course. Ack, thank you for being here as well.
Of course. Always happy to be the replacement Nate in the event of his death, but also in the event of his continued life.
How the turntables where Nate was the replacement for anyone that couldn't make the show, and that was Ack's role today. The replacement for Nate who showed up.
Well, now I know if I ever need to make the show good, I can just simply say I'm not doing it this week.
Mike, likewise, thank you for being here. I hope your kids slept well.
Yeah, pretty much.
Good. All right, we will leave it at that. We will talk at you next time. Here's an important public service announcement. See you, bye.
Okay, so see, one time Randy Beeman's mom's best friend, whose name is Linda, wanted to get a tan more than anything. So she went to a tanning salon and she stayed in too long and she boiled her guts. Okay, bye.